But you need to voice in writing what it is that you expect them to be. You know, you need to, because say there's some jobs where, oh, by the way, you're going to be doing blah, 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 but we also need to give us a hand collectively every Thursday because we have an event and we've got 40 people coming in. It's like all hands on deck. You can't have somebody says, well, it's 5:02 and this has nothing to do with the marketing, so I'm walking it home. And you go, what? No, dude, you're staying here till 8 because it's just how it is here. Alright? Does that make sense? And so it's very important that, again, it's one of these is like yin and yang. It's like your tool if something does go wrong, it's a way to actually say, well, you're not actually doing your duties. Are you either going to start doing your duties, otherwise I'm going to kick you out. But the other side of it is a way for them to feel comfortable that they know exactly what a good job looks like. Because they also rightfully, if you come and say, man, you're not doing your job, they should say, dude, I'm doing this thing here, is what you wrote to me, and I'm doing everything here, so what's the problem? Oops, well, let's have a conversation about that. Does that make sense? Cool.
Would you include qualifications and experience?
You can. I don't mind that. Because that way it sort of passes across to what the job ad becomes. And the qualifications can be expressed in a soft way. It doesn't have to be that you've got to have a PhD in rocket science, but it could be that you're going to have experience in rocket engineering. Okay, fine, that's close enough. Or you're going to have a solid engineering background with more than 5 years experience in mechanical, electromechanical and whatever not. Okay, good. But that you need to describe it in such terms that everyone can reasonably fit in that would be qualified to do the job. What I like sometimes, particularly if it's a performance kind of job, writing what are not necessarily all the KPIs, but what are the overarching KPIs. If it's a sales position, we need you to sell $1 million worth of stuff every year, or we need to close 5 deals every week, or whatever it is. If it's a operations position, we need to make sure that you make this many people happy, or whatever it might be. And don't be afraid to put some soft stuff in as well. It's like, we need you to achieve a 90% net promoter score from our customers. If you don't achieve a 90% net promoter score, we will have words with you and say, what's going on? Are you okay? Do you need a hand? Do you need more resources? What's going on? Obviously things are, our customers are not ecstatically happy for whatever reason. But we've got to be careful in how we express them. Any more questions around this one? It's a big one. Melting down the back. So can you double check the camera is still, it's a new camera, so I just want to make sure it's doing its thing. It's still flashing red?
Yep, you're good.
Good, thank you. I thought it would be, but you never know. So those people that you have around you that are not employees tend to fall into the bucket of contractors. So the law has some funny things about what's the contractor and what is an employee. Anyone wants to volunteer what they think is the difference?
What was it? Difference between contractor and employee?
Yeah.
It's usually just around how they're paid, the terms of their contract. So a full-time employee will get X amount of super and holidays, and a contractor might not have those same benefits.
Correct.
Applied.
Yeah, that's a good summary of it. The thing that you gotta remember is that if it looks like an employee, smells like an employee in the eyes of the law, it is an employee. So it doesn't matter what relationship that you enter into, what kind of contract you enter into, the law has provisions that basically overrides whatever you thought it's going to be. What that means is if you hire somebody as a contractor, maybe they're doing 5 hours a week for you, and that's clearly a contractor, they're doing lots of work for other people. A year down the track, you love them so much, you're now doing 50 hours a week for you. It is no longer a contractor. It is definitely an employee, and it has implications from a work health and safety, from a right work cover perspective, it has implications from how you tax them. You have to PAYG tax them, even if they're a contractor.
And will IBM flicked over like, I don't know, like 1,000 contractors in one go to employees to save money?
Yeah.
Just lock them in.
Yeah. But yeah, there obviously can be like a contractor don't have the protection under the Act that an employee has.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is it possible to stop that? Stop the contractor being turned into an employee? Ways to get around that?
Yes, if they're offshore. It's a cheeky answer, but yeah, obviously if you have people that are not in this country, then no rules apply, you can do whatever you want, particularly if you use one of the platforms. And you can use one of the platforms, don't say that I said this, but you can definitely use the platforms as well as a way around that problem here locally.
Like Airtasker.
Airtasker or Freelancer or Upwork. Because you're using a third-party intermediary and you're not to know what's behind the scenes.
Sorry, wasn't there under the contractor that an employee relationship? I think it was like where they derive 70% or something of their income from you or something. Then they're considered an employee.
Yes, I
But-
think the words are now a bit more fluid than that. In other words, it can be deemed even at a lower rate than 70% that they are now deemed to be an employee. It's about the type of relationship more than the actual percentage. Because if the relationship has that smell of an employee, then it probably is an employee. It's the same as like directors in a company. If it looks like a director, acts like a director, probably is a director. It doesn't matter whatever you want to call yourself. And even if you're registered on the ASIC website or not, people always still think you're a director because you are acting in that capacity. You can't just say, oh, I'm calling myself a zookeeper and then I have no obligations. It's like, it doesn't work like that.
I've actually, because we went through this process of moving our employees to that contractor
Yeah.
model, and we've actually spoken to our accountants around that, how the ATO
Sees that.
sees that. And if someone's interested, I can send it through, but it's basically the ability to subcontract and delegate the work,
Yes,
sort of separates between employee and contractor, because the contractor can pass on some of the work
Correct.
if they want to.
Yep.
The basis of payment, so the contractor, the worker is paid for a result achieved based on the quote they provided. The quote can be calculated using hourly rates or price per item to work out the total cost of the work
Yep.
in comparison to like a set salary.
your employee just earns the wage whether they actually did the work or not.
Yeah,
And that is, therein actually lies the reverse of the problem, is that employees as such, you can't say, well, I'm not going to pay you this week because you actually didn't do the work that I told you to. So again, the last two things, what's the way out? Termination clauses, grounds for termination, all that kind of stuff, think it through. I've written a lot of contractor agreements and I don't think two of them yet are the same. Probably been 20 of them in the last 5 years, and there's not two of them that are identical. They should all be bespoke to what the situation is. So equity versus pay. So it can be very, very tempting at this early stage of the business to say, oh, I'll just give you 10% of my shares if you do blah. Or 20%, or 30%, or whatever. Doesn't matter what the percentage is. But giving equity instead of shares can be a slippery slide for a number of different reasons. There's a number of things to consider. First of all, what if you terminate this agreement? Like, what if you as a founder are not happy with whatever they're delivering? Do you have a right to terminate the agreement? Are they still getting your shares or not getting your shares? I say always only